WJOL. Slocum in the morning. It's Wednesday, the first day of July. Thank you very much for making this a part of your day. DeKalb, Illinois, yesterday, there was a press conference naming a new women's basketball coach of the Northern Illinois Huskies women's basketball program. And that coach joins us here this morning on the Turk Furniture studio line. And you're going to recognize the name. It's Lisa Carlsen, who this past year led Lewis to a 31-3 record, the Elite Eight. She was named the Division II Coach of the Year, and she joins us this morning. Coach Carlsen, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
I'm doing fine and dandy. And you know, the only reason we're interviewing the Northern Illinois head coach on this radio station is because it's you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, because, we're happy for you. I mean, let's face it, people always want to improve their situation wherever they're at. If they're, working for a small marketing company, they want to go work for a big one, because when you go work for a big one, there's more benefits, there's usually more money, and there's a chance for growth. So some other people would also say if you're not growing, you're dying. So this is, as much as we hate to see you leave, Lisa, we couldn't be happier for you. You put your hard work in at the Division II level. You get your shot at Division I, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So congratulations on behalf of all of us.
Well, I appreciate that, Scott. I can't say enough about the opportunities that I had at Lewis and the great time and the great friendships. But, I'm excited for this challenge and kind of see where it takes us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, didn't you beat Northern last year in a game?
We did. We did in an exhibition game, and, maybe that was kind of an audition,
I don't think you want that to happen again. Are you going to put Lewis on your exhibition schedule?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Especially next year, that's for sure. Well, Coach, how did all this process go down? I mean, you had an incredible year. You've had an incredible run. I think 8 years in all at Lewis, give or take. This year, obviously, is when people really stepped up and took notice. Were you getting some other offers too? Was Northern your first, so you went with them? How did all this work?
Well, I think I was in a situation, especially with my family, that I wasn't necessarily seeking another opportunity, but would look at opportunities that seemed right, seemed like a good fit, seemed like a good move, with a lot of factors. And Northern presented that. It's an opportunity to not have to uproot and move very far. A situation where I think it's a university that's really ready to take the next step. They played a good conference. I think all of those things just kind of fell in place. And so those are the situations that I was most looking for, and when it presented itself, made the most sense.
Absolutely, and you're right. You have a son that just graduated from Providence. He won 2 state championships. He pitched in the state championship this year. You have a son who's, I think, going to be a sophomore at Providence. You have a daughter that's young. So, yeah, I guess now would be a pretty good time. And you're right, you're not moving to another part of the country. Most people that work at Northern Illinois either live in DeKalb or a suburb of Chicago that's just a little bit to the east. So, yeah, it's not going to be a huge culture shock for the family.
No, and they're excited about the opportunity for us. Obviously, you mentioned Providence, and we couldn't be happy with the situation we had for the kids there. But, they understand it's not the first time that they've moved. So, we leave back a lot of really, really great memories and a lot of great people. But there are also people we can stay in contact with and stay in touch with, and that makes it a little bit easier.
Yep, no doubt. Lisa Carlsen joining us on 1340 WJOL. Well, let's talk about the new gig. I mean, Northern Illinois women's basketball. I mean, where is it right now in the grand scheme of things?
I don't think they're that far away. I think they have some pieces in place. Like any program that's looking to get to, the next level and compete for championships, I think they always look at the recruiting and say you need a couple more pieces. And if you look at what we were able to do at Lewis, I think that's the difference. We added a couple pieces that really, really made a difference. So I think that's the same situation here. I think they have a great group of young ladies as a core, relatively young. You add a couple pieces to it, I think you're in business.
Yeah, they went 12-17 last year, not including that loss to Lewis back on the 8th of November in an exhibition game. Recruiting to the Division I level as opposed to the Division II level, you will have more scholarship dollars to offer.
More scholarship dollars, but the nice thing about being at Northern, too, is I don't think it necessarily changes your recruiting base immensely. I think what we will need to do here is really concentrate on continuing to recruit the Chicagoland area hard. I think that's a market that, kids can look at NIU and look at it as a viable option and a great destination. And so a lot of the kids that maybe we were watching in hopes of somehow luring to Lewis and maybe not getting that shot because of the difference in level are kids that we can get here at NIU.
Right. No doubt. Well, I know Dan Schumacher brought you to Lewis a handful of years ago, and you've had John Planick, your athletic director, so you've worked for a couple of very good ADs, and I hope you still have. Hopefully you'll have somebody as quality as Planick to work for and Schumacher to work for in DeKalb, because that's pretty important too, to have that kind of support system in place.
Oh, it absolutely is. And when I got a chance to meet with Sean Frazier, the athletic director here, it's funny. He reminds me a little bit of Dan Schumacher with his football background. But you know what? He wants to win. And I think we thrive in a situation where you have somebody who understands what it takes. He's coached, he was administrator, he was a player, he was all of those things, and has a great understanding of what it takes to be successful. And so I'm excited to work for Mr. Frazier. I think it'll be a great fit. And I think he'll be extremely supportive. He's ready for the basketball teams here to kind of take off, much like the success the football team has had recently.
Yeah, no doubt. Football has been amazing. The best program in the state of Illinois now, and that's including, the University of Illinois and Illinois State and Northwestern. And, yeah, you're right, the basketball programs have not had that type of success. But, hey, if you can turn that around, Coach, man, you will be a rock star. Well, we're going to miss you and your family. Chris Carlsen was the pitching coach for Schmitty the last several years, and it's always fun to watch him amble out there to the mound and pull the pitcher or give somebody a lecture in the dugout. We heard a lot of those as well. But just a really good family that I'm glad I got to know. You will be missed, but we'll be keeping a close eye on you, not too far to the north.
Well, I appreciate that, Scott. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Lisa Carlsen, good luck in DeKalb. New head basketball coach for the women at Northern Illinois University. Again, you feel good for people like that and families like that, just real quality people. You take 32.